Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever wanted to jump into speaking Japanese but felt kind of overwhelmed by it all, you are in the perfect place. Today we're going to break down the one sentence that pretty much unlocks everything else. Seriously, this is the key to your first real conversation. Let's dive in.
Okay, take a look at this. This right here is a complete, grammatically perfect sentence in Japanese. It says, I am Kombu. And I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you're not only going to understand every single piece of this, but more importantly, you'll be able to build your very own.
You see, the secret to getting started isn't about memorizing 100 different phrases. It's all about understanding one super simple but really powerful pattern. I like to call it the golden formula, because it truly is the key that unlocks your first conversations.
So here it is. A wa B des. In this pattern, A and B are just placeholders for nouns, and the whole thing simply means A is B. That's it. This is literally the framework for introducing yourself, your job, your nationality, almost anything you want to state as a fact.
All right, so let's take that formula and really break it down. We're going to look at each piece of the puzzle, because once you see what each part is doing, building your own sentences, it gets surprisingly easy. So let's get into it.
So first up, we've got to talk about something called particles, or joshi in Japanese. These things are tiny, but oh man, are they mighty. They don't really have a direct equivalent in English, but just think of them as, like, the grammatical glue of the language. They tell you what job the word right before them is doing in the sentence.
Okay, and the very first particle we're going to learn is this one, ha. This is the topic marker. This little guy points to the A in our formula and basically screams, hey, everything I'm about to say, it's about this thing. So when you say watashi wa, you're really saying as for me or speaking of me.
Okay, now you've got to listen up for this one. This is a super important pronunciation rule that trips up almost every single beginner. You see this character, ha, normally you'd pronounce it ha. But when it's acting as our topic particle, and only then, the sound totally changes to wa. So it's watashi wa, not watashi ha. Getting this right is a total game changer, I promise.
All right, and the last piece of our puzzle is this. The easiest way to think about it is that it's the Japanese version of is, am, or are. It comes at the very end and does two really important jobs. It finishes the thought, kind of like a period, and it makes the whole sentence polite. Using des at the end is absolutely key if you want to sound respectful. All right, enough with the theory. Let's actually put this formula to work and see how you can build a real-deal self-introduction, like right now.
So, we can just slot in a nationality. Let's say you're American. You just take watashi, that's I, for your A, and America-jin for your B. Put them together and you get watashi wa America-jin desu. I am American. See? Simple as that. And guess what? It works for jobs, too. So if you're a student, you'd say, watashi wa gakusei desu. Watashi wa gakusei desu. I am a student. See? The formula is exactly the same. All you're doing is swapping out the noun. And check this out. You can actually string these simple sentences together to make a full introduction. You could say, hajimemashite, which is like, nice to meet you. Then, watashi wa Kombu desu. I am Kombu. Nihonjin desu. I am Japanese. Kyoshi desu. I am a teacher. And finish with dozo yoroshiku, which is a polite way to say pleased to make your acquaintance. And just like that, you've got a complete, polite introduction. How cool is that?
Okay, so you can make statements, which is awesome. But, a conversation isn't just about making statements, right? It's a two-way street. So let's see how we can tweak our golden formula to ask questions and to say no to things. And trust me, it's way easier than you think.
So, to say A is not B, all you do is swap out des for dewa arimasen. So, if you wanted to say, I am not a student, you'd say, watashi wa gakusei dewa arimasen. Now, you might also hear people say ja arimasen in more casual chats, but for now, dewa arimasen is the one you want to remember. It's the standard, polite way to say it. And asking a question? Oh, this is even easier. You literally just take your regular statement, A wa B this, and pop this little particle, ka, on the very end. That's it. You're done. That ka acts just like a spoken question mark.
Okay, so let's put it all together in a quick chart. For the polite style that we're focusing on, you've got des for a positive statement, de wa arimasen for a negative one, and desu ka to ask a question.
It's a really neat little system. And don't worry about that plain row for now. We'll get to that in just a sec.
All right, you've got the basic mechanics down. Now let's go over a couple of quick tips that will make you sound way less like you're reading from a textbook and much more natural when you speak.
Okay, this one is huge. In Japanese, if something is obvious from the context, you just drop it. So once you've introduced yourself and said, I am Tanaka, you don't need to keep saying I am over and over again. Everyone knows you're still talking about you. So you can just say, Tanaka desu, gakusei desu. Just dropping the watashi wa makes you sound so much more fluent.
And hey, remember that plain form from the chart a minute ago? Let's talk about what that actually is. Basically, the polite form with des is your go-to. It's your safe bet for talking with strangers, your boss, anyone you want to show respect to. The plain form, where you use da instead, is what you use with your close friends, your family, people you're really familiar with. As a beginner, just stick with des. You absolutely can't go wrong.
Okay, so to wrap this all up, I've got a question for you, using the exact grammar we just covered. Anata wa gakusei desu ka? Are you a student? And the cool thing is, you now have all the tools to answer me. You could say, hi, gakusei desu, for yes, I am a student. Or, ie, gakusei de wa arimasen, for no, I'm not a student. You literally just had your first little conversation in Japanese. How awesome is that? Congratulations!